Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host, Melek. We just gonna get through this at this point. Celtics dominate the Grizzlies, 121 to 103. This game is not close at all. I'm just gonna say it straight like that. This game is not close at all. The Celtics were up by like 30 at one point in the third quarter, and it's crazy because I talked about the second quarter being one of the worst quarters I've ever seen in the last game. Yeah, that third quarter was hard to watch. I cannot lie. That third quarter was hard to watch. Um, just looking at the overall stats, Grizzlies lost every quarter except for the fourth when it really didn't matter at that point. They tried some comebacks but just couldn't get it going. Um, One of the things that I did notice, the Grizzlies did increase their points in the paint. That was something I did see. Fast break points is even. One of the things that I am seeing though, and this is one of my concerns. Now, granted, I'm not going to really be critical, super critical of this because this is preseason, and a lot of these people who are on the team right now probably aren't gonna get as much playing time. But 22 turnovers, same issue as last year. 22 turnovers. There's no other way to put it. Um, 7 for 38 from three. This is the one thing I was worried about with the system. Well, not even with the system, just with the Grizzlies. They get too comfortable shooting threes, and it turns into shooting 18% from three. What's another stat? Actually, what's crazy is the Grizzlies actually won the rebounding battle, 53-49. It didn't feel like it because Luka Garza had a double double with 10 rebounds, so it didn't feel like it at all. But the Grizzlies actually won the rebounding battle. But a lot of these rebounds though that I'm starting to see that it really didn't feel that way was because a lot of it were offensive rebounds. That's the part that got me. It's just the Grizzlies give up too many offensive rebounds, and that's something that I really hate to see. Like I said, turnovers are just something else. Yeah, the turnovers are something. As far as who really played good, Jalen Wells looked pretty good. Santi Aldama looked all right. He couldn't hit from three though. Yeah, PJ Hall did not look good today. He did not look good last night. Five fouls, five quick ones, and then there was a point where he literally had the same foul two times in a row, and they were both illegal screens. So that didn't look good. In the short time that he played, Lawson Lovren didn't look bad at all. I will admit that part. He did not look bad at all. 5 points, 2 for 2 from the field, 6 rebounds and an assist and a steal. He didn't look bad, but what didn't necessarily look good either. Devon Small finally played. First game for him, didn't really play that good, but he'll eventually find his groove. He did kind of find his way when it came to playmaking though. 6 assists, that's something you got to give him credit for that. Although he did have 4 turnovers, you hope he kind of brings that down eventually. But overall, just a hard watch if I'm being honest. And it was the first time I really like sat down and watched the game. It was a hard watch. I cannot lie. But the reason it was a hard watch, and we got to get into these too, because as much as I try to make excuses for them, and like I said, I'm not very critical of preseason, but I'm critical of players that I've already seen play, and I expect a lot out of. And two of those being G.G. Jackson and Vince Williams Jr. You know, how do I put this? I woke up this morning to go to work, and I was wondering why it was cold outside. And then I looked at the box score, and I saw Vince Williams Jr.'s stat line. 0 for 7 from 3. 0 for 5. No, 0 for 7 from the field. 0 for 5 from 3. 4 fouls and 1 point. Vince Williams Jr., everybody. And this is exactly why I said this year is very critical for him, because we cannot have performances like this. I know it's preseason. You're trying to figure the jump out, but playing like this in, year 3? Kind of crazy. Let's go to G.G. Jackson. 3 of 8 from the field. 1 of 4 from 3. 3 fouls, 3 turnovers, 7 points, and he had 4 rebounds. Could have had more, but he fumbled the ball way too much, if I'm just being honest. And like I said, I know it's preseason, but I am very critical of these two because I am very high on them. And right now they are proving me wrong, especially Gigi Jackson. And I think the part that kills me about Gigi Jackson is he has all the talent in the world. But if you ever watch a Gigi Jackson possession, and this is what I mentioned in the last episode, he over dribbles the ball. And I don't know if it's a mental thing or what, but he does not need to do much to dribble to score the ball. But he over dribbles like crazy. And not to mention, Gigi has some of the clumsiest handles I think I've seen in a while from a forward. It felt like most of the time when he drove, he just couldn't hold on to the ball. And I'm just like, how is this still possible? It was just weird. Like I can't explain it. But it ice cold from those two. Um, yeah, man, it ice cold from them. I can't I can't make sense of it if I'm being honest with you. I genuinely cannot make sense of it. But this is why in the offseason I said this year is going to determine a lot for them going forward, because if you have performances like this, I don't see them being on the team in the near future. I'm just being honest. What's the point? But then again, we have John Conchar still on the team, so maybe they still will have a spy if they struggle. Just being honest with y'all. I'm sorry if I'm very blunt this episode. I don't know what to say, because these are just things that I've been thinking for a minute, and right now it's not looking good. Mostly for the guys with the experience. The rookies, hey, I understand. But the guys that have, been established to the team, it's not looking good. And that's the part that worries me more than anything. I'm not worried about the final score. I'm worried about the guys who are going to be in the rotation. It's not looking good at all. But somebody who did look good was Jalen Wells. He shot 6 of 9 from 3. He shot 6 of 9 from the field, 24 minutes, 3 of 5 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. He also had 3 assists. Now the only downside is three turnovers, 3 fouls. He had a plus minus a -5, which wasn't bad compared to how the rest of the team looks. And he had 21 points. So it wasn't necessarily a bad game for Jalen Wells. I actually think he had a pretty good game, because in the possessions that I saw from him, he looked very, very comfortable with the ball, and especially off the dribble. I saw a lot of I saw a good mix of spot up shots and even some off dribble shots, and that's something that I like to see from Jalen Wells. Make him more comfortable with the ball, so that way he's not only just looked at as a threat from the catch and shoot position, but also he can expand his game and make himself more of a threat with off dribble shots. So that's something that I was very glad to see right there, and I'm glad that he got the chance to test that out. And hopefully we can see that in the near future, because I think it'll benefit him very well if he has the ability to get his shot like that. It expands his game more. It makes it easier for guys like Ja and Jaren to, score and lead their be open for a shot, rather than, corner sitting or something. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I did see from Jalen Wells that I really did like. Now, another thing I didn't like, and I'm not usually a box score person, but Cedric Howard, he struggled again, but he looked better than the last game. So in 26 minutes, he went 4-13 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, but 7 of 7 for the free throw line, 6 rebounds, two steals, 4 fouls and 15 points. Now, if I'm being real, the reason I say I'm not a box score person is because if I look at this, I'm gonna think, oh, he's a bust. But honestly, if I watch the game, he's looking more comfortable, and that's all that matters to me, because he needs to establish, where he's at on the team right now. So it's good to see that he's kind of finding his groove now with the 3-point shot. I think he can develop that over time. Even then, I don't think Cedric Howard was that good of a 3-point shooter like that anyway. But I think he can definitely, over time, definitely find his shot. At this point, that y'all should expect me to yawn in every episode. I make these pretty early. Right now, I'm actually on break at work, so yeah. But yeah, he's looking comfortable there. I liked what I saw mostly from him. Obviously, the things that you expect from him, he's gonna figure out. He just has to get acclimated to the game, but I think he'll figure it out. Now, like I said, for those others who are established in the system, I need to see better. It's only a matter of time before I'm just gonna keep accepting subpar performances from Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams, especially Vince Williams, because that brother, it was shots where he literally didn't even hit the rim. And that was very concerning to me. So hopefully they figure it out because, like I said, if they plan to be in the rotation, we cannot afford games like this. It's just that simple. It makes it unbearable on the court to watch these guys play and essentially have them in the system. So hopefully they figure it out. Cedric Howard appears to be figuring it out. I am excited to see what he does against Atlanta on Saturday. The game is at 7 o'clock at FedEx Forum, so I'm very happy to see what he does in that, and I can't wait to see how the others bounce back. Hopefully, like I said, when it comes to preseason, the Grizzlies go 0 for 5 for all I care. I just want to know how the people in the rotation look more than anything. So when I saw the Grizzlies down by 30, I didn't trip, mostly because the Celtics, they're a team that's already established. Most of these guys play vital roles in the team. So, and they're already, guys with experience. So, I knew the result of what was going to happen. I just didn't think much of it because I only care about one thing because at the end of the day, it's preseason. This doesn't count towards a record. So, that's all I look for in preseason. So, if you expect me to, kind of, crash out about this, it's probably not going to happen unless somebody shoots like 0 for 10 from the field or something. But that's going to be a wrap on this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah. That's all I got. Wear your jackets today. That's all I'm going to say. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you get notified when tomorrow's video comes out. And that's for this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all on Friday.